Happy Friday, y'all. Welcome to the Floating Head Chronicles. Today I wanted to talk about Morgan, and this is her friend Anissa. If you guys don't remember them, they were the ones that idolized that character Slenderman, and during a sleepover with another friend, Payton, they convinced her to go to the woods where Michael Myers her 19 times. However, she survived. Now, in case you guys don't know, Slenderman is a fictional supernatural character typically depicted as a spidery figure in a black suit with a featureless white face that originated from creepypasta or horror. It was internet meme. So back in 2009, this was like circulating. And they found this on Creepypasta Wiki. They apparently believed he was real and decided to become what they call proxies for the character, thereby proving their dedication to him and his existence to skeptics. Now, going back to 2014, the two girls were 12, and they lured another 12-year-old classmate, Payton, into the park after the sleepover, and Michael Myers her repetitively 19 times to be exact, and they left her, but she crawled onto the bike path and was found by a passerby. So they literally claimed that they were Slenderman's servants and protecting their families from him. Now here's Payton, where she is thankfully alive to tell her story. She does have a story that she shared with ABC. You can look up, and this girl's a walking miracle because literally she was attacked so many times. It is a miracle that she survived that. But the mental trauma that this girl must be enduring on a regular basis is astronomical. I don't think it'll ever go away. Somebody that you thought was your friend, like two people, and obviously your parents let you sleep over and everything, so this must have been a shock to everybody all around. Now, the doctor stated if the knife had gone the width of a human hair further, she wouldn't have lived. She had to have operations and everything. Morgan pled guilty to first-degree attempted intentional homicide and was sent to the Winnebago Mental Health Institute in 2018. Now, her friend that just watched and really just encouraged and didn't take physical part, she pled guilty to second-degree attempted international homicide and was also sent to the Mental Health Institute, but was released in 2021 at the age of 19. Now, just yesterday, they had a hearing for Morgan where they were talking about releasing her. So they wanted to release her in January. Several psychologists who've worked closely with Morgan testified that she's ready for supervised release. But then last week, the prosecutors raised concerns saying that she had violent communication with a man outside the facility and read a book in the facility with themes of, you can read. The three doctors who evaluated her testified that she was well enough to be released. And even with the new allegations that are brought forward, it didn't change their opinion. Like, what are you talking about? This girl already did a heinous act that put her in another realm on mental process. This is what I'm talking about when I say that we don't do enough for mental in the United States of America. So she goes to a mental hospital and we try to reform and put them right back out on the streets, like not even 10 years later. Meanwhile, there are people in prison that are spending longer sentences for a fraction of the crime. And this is what makes me mind blown here. This girl is already showing that she is mentally not okay and she doesn't think right. And you're thinking, even with this red flag thrown on fire, that, hey, let's put her out in civil society and just see how she does. Because what? She's not your problem anymore? You gotta wait till something else happens? Thankfully, Payton has her life. But this girl clearly, she has no remorse of what she's done and is still not in her mental right place. Now, there's so many pictures throughout the years of her, and man, every time I see her, I'm like, is this the same girl? I have to do facial check-ins because she's changed herself drastically so many times. It just, already blows my mind. Now, they presented some of Morgan's like drawings and things that she had, showing that there was intent, the supplies that were necessary to pull off this crime. And this is not normal. This is intentional. She thought about it, she planned it, they had everything in place, and they acted upon it. Therefore, you could claim mental all you want, schizophrenia, say whatever. At the end of the day, she did this, and y'all are just slapping her on the wrist. What about Payton? Does she not get justice for what happened to her? Because she's never going to be okay the whole rest of her life. Originally, Morgan was sentenced to 4 years, but she was granted release in January. This held up and held her back. They had this new concern, so they brought it forward. And the judge listened to those 3 psychologists and said, we'll release her. If you guys think she's good, throw her back out there. Now, this was her at court. This is what she looks like now. And I just can't, the whole time they're talking, she's not showing any sort of reactions or emotions at all. Nothing. Zero. Knowing this, and she just willingly gets out. Like, who is watching her? Who's going to be monitoring her every move? Don't tell me these psychologists spent all day monitoring her every dang move. They didn't. Y'all probably spent only a couple hours with her. You didn't know her personally. You didn't get to know. And then when she reoffends or does something worse the next time, then what do you get to say? The state fails again, and everybody's just like, well, and nobody gets held accountable for it. This to me is what makes me sick with the United States, because we really are a joke when it comes to the judicial system. We really do not give people these sentences that they deserve for the crimes. And so that just teaches people, hey, if you can act really well, or you have a mental illness, you get to claim that, and you'll go away for just like maximum of 10 years, but you'll be right back out again. So, just do what you got to do. That's what we're presenting to the world. Now, it's not to say that she doesn't have mental illness, or not to say that people cannot recover, but there's a difference between having mental illness, which I know a lot of people that do, and then acting upon these things. Like when you're idolizing make-believe fictional characters, and granted, they were little then, but she was still showing that she was not, in the right mindset. Even to this day, who let her read these books? Like you're in a mental facility and they're giving you these books and then saying that's unauthorized. Where did she get it from? How was she allowed to obtain said book that she shouldn't be reading if she's in your care? What do you think she's going to do when she's not having anybody monitoring her? This stuff grinds my gears, and I'm so sorry, Payton. You are truly a beautiful girl, and I am so sad for you that there's no justice done. This slap on the wrist where you are going to forever live with this and carry this on while she gets to go live her best life is just not fair to me. And you keep being strong, and justice for you. Let me know what you guys think, because I'm just mind blown. Like every time that I watch these cases or I see, I'm like, what is, meanwhile, we got the most crazy trials right now, like Karen's mistrial and all, where it's blatantly obvious. And here we are. And this is why I get so frustrated, because how does this keep happening? When are we going to actually say, hey, we actually need to do better here? And then they wonder why these people reoffend and end up back where they were, and then play dumb. Like, oh, God, I can't even believe that happened. Well, yeah, she was showing you that. But, she was a model person while she was in here. Of course she is. Everybody wants to be a model because they want to get out. So, yeah, that's the whole goal. Now, was she isolated by herself? Did she have friends? Did she show? There needs to be more. Not just sit down and have a couple discussions and be like, yeah, she's fine. Yeah, I've talked to her. I'm not worried. No worries at all. Oh, that doesn't worry you? That doesn't worry you that she's reading these things and talking sexual to an older man? And where did she meet said man? How did the man even reach out to her? What's going on? Anyways, guys, have a great night. Let me know what you think.